'Tis the season, guys, and if you guys are excited for some fun and creative Christmas DIYs, then you don't want to miss this video. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. If you want to see some super easy, fun, and creative Christmas DIYs, this is the video for you. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. My name is Araceli and this is Araceli Chan DIY. I would love for you guys to become part of the DIY family. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. Make sure you guys hit all notifications because sometimes YouTube doesn't like to notify you, but I do post about once a week. I'm actually really excited for today's video. It's a true testament to show you guys that you do not need a fancy machinery to create some of these projects. And I feel because I was using a certain machine, my talent was tested a little bit. I'm going to show you how your own hands can be your own personal cutting machine. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm not going to make this super long, so let's go ahead and jump into the first DIY. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start out with this Rudolph frame, and just so you guys know, several of the DIYs that I'm doing, I'm recreating from some that I saw on Wayfair. I'm just doing it my way. So we're going to go ahead and start off with this Dollar Tree frame. This is from the canvases. I just had it left over. I don't know where the canvas went, but I just went ahead and painted it, and then I'm going to be using this adhesive cork sheet to go on the back. So I'm just going to cut it to size and then staple it to the back.
I can't wait for the weekend. Waking up next to you. We'll be sharing our secrets.
I just drew my design on there first with pencil. For the black part, I am just using a regular Sharpie. And then for the colored part, I am going to be using some alcohol markers that I have been using for a while. I think I have them linked in my Amazon storefront. You guys can check it out. You might find some similar to these.
Let's have a toast for the lovers. Tumble round in the snow, and my heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're so beautiful. What a night. Can you feel it too? Girl, I won't let you go. Counting stars. When the sky comes alive, let's have a jolly holiday. Holiday. Let's have a jolly holiday.
I'm doing a different take on a tabletop Christmas tree, and I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree wooden trees, and I'll be using this acrylic paint in chalkboard green. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint the whole thing because I am going to add some moss to the top of it, and I don't want the wood part to show through. Now, Dollar Tree has different types of moss. I am going to be using this reindeer moss because it's softer. I actually really like this type of moss, but it does come in like big chunks. So I'm just going to take my scissors and try to cut it into pieces as much as I can.
Text every day, and still my feelings are so strong. How I missed your face. Let's have a toast for the lovers. We'll tumble round in the snow. My heart's going boom, boom, boom. You're so beautiful.
For the stand, I will be using a dowel. You can find these at Dollar Tree, or the one that I got, or the package I got is from Walmart. And then I am using the leftover pieces from the actual Dollar Tree little tabletop Christmas tree that I used for a different project. So I'm just reusing that to make the stand. And just make sure to glue and hammer it on there so it doesn't go anywhere. And then I'm going to glue that to the back of my tree. So you can decorate it any way you want. I'm just going to be using a few of these beaded necklaces from Dollar Tree. They come in a pack of 8. If I would have had red, I would have used red, but I'm just going to use like the goldish color. And then I'll also be using some twine to wrap the dowel. And then I also have a really cute Dollar Tree Christmas tree skirt that I'm going to use that I will show you guys here in a second.
Wait another year. talking on the phone, I make you feel at home. Oh, when I got you by my side, what a night.
Here's another really cute Wayfair piece that I found. I actually found these puzzle pieces at Dollar General. They were pretty cheap, so I picked them up a while ago, actually, before I even saw that DIY. So I will be using both this chalkboard green and then like the Christmas red or whatever color that was. And then I will also be using some white. Now I am drilling some holes on the top of the puzzle pieces because I'm going to add some twine to hang it from. And then I will be using some of these Dollar Tree stickers. Just going to use the NOEL. And a couple of them actually went over the hole on the puzzle, but it's okay, you can't really tell. And I think it looks super cute. So I think this one is super cute. I know you can't tell, it's a light up gnome when you look at it, but I'll show you guys how I made it. So I took one of these little globe things from Dollar Tree and I'm going to be using the LED lights with the battery pack. So I will just be drilling a hole at the bottom of this so I can thread the lights right through it. And of course, that's what's going to go into the bulb and light it up. Alright, so this is a leftover piece of a mop from Dollar Tree, like the mop pad, and it's really fluffy and cute, so I just went ahead and wrapped that around. Of course, that's going to be our beard. And then for the hat, I did take a hand towel from the kitchen section at Dollar Tree, and I think the colors are perfect with the white and the red, and I'm just going to cut it to a hat shape and glue it and stuff it and all that. You guys will see what I do. So I did stuff it a little bit with some tissue paper, and then I didn't actually glue the hat around the head just because it's staying perfectly still. For the nose, I'm using half a wooden bead, and then I am going to be gluing the fabric together on the hat just so it kind of like droops down. And then on the end, I'm going to be using a little wicker ball from Dollar Tree, and you guys can decorate it however you want. But I'm also going to be adding some wooden blocks at the bottom just because it's going to keep it a little bit more stable when you sit it up. Okay, so this one can be a picture board or it can be a board where you can hold like Christmas cards, and you can make it as big as you want. I'm only gonna make it as big as the supplies that I have. So I'm gonna take 2 of these summer signs from Dollar Tree. They do have 3 pieces each, and I feel like they have these year-round at my Dollar Tree, so I don't have to wait for like spring or summer. You guys can see there, I just glued them all together, and to make them more stable, I did add some paint sticks to the back. And then you can paint this if you want, but I'm actually going to be using some cardstock paper or just whatever patterned paper that you can find. I have these. It's just like kind of green and white. So I'm just going to cut them to size and then glue them down with just this regular Dollar Tree glue. All right, so I don't want to hear any more excuses about the Cricut and how nobody has a Cricut. So you guys can use your hand to letter everything. So I go into it first with some pencil, and then I'm just going to use a Sharpie. And practice makes perfect. If you don't have good handwriting, keep doing it or trace it or whatever you want. But I just kind of freehand it. It's not always perfect, but it'll do. And to hang the pictures or cards, I just added some thumbtacks with some twine and the little clothespins that you could find at a craft store or at Dollar Tree. Alright, so we gotta feed Santa. So I'm gonna go ahead and take one of these square boxes from Dollar Tree that has the 4 different compartments, and we're just gonna go ahead and attach these little wooden legs, I'm gonna call them. I think they're like figurines, but I'm gonna call them legs. I think I bought those at either Michael's or Dollar General. I can't really remember, but they weren't that much. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue them to the bottom. By the way, I am using my hot glue sticks that are meant for woodworking. And then I'm going to give it a couple coats of paint as well. And for the letters to do the cookies for Santa font, I'm going to be using some rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree. I have a ton of these in my stockpile. I have seen them recently, so you might be lucky if you do look for them. If not, it's okay. Just use your hand. As I'm about to do for the For Santa piece on here, I'm just going to go ahead and use a Sharpie for that. Now, I have been trying to figure out what the heck to do with this little gingerbread man that I have been holding on to for so long, from Dollar Tree, of course. I'm going to be using this acrylic paint that I would highly, highly not recommend for normal painting. I just don't like it. I use it as a stain. When you use it with either a wet paper towel or a baby wipe, as I'm doing, it works perfectly. You don't have to add water because it's so thin. So I'm just going to go ahead and stain my gingerbread man. So I just added some paint on there and did the face with a Sharpie marker, and then using that same hand towel I used earlier, I just made a little hat for him that I'm going to glue right on there, and then doing the same thing, gluing it down or gluing the fabric together so it droops down, and then adding a little bead at the top. And because he's going to be sharing some cookies with Santa, I wanted to make him a drink. So I actually picked up these little ornament things from Dollar Tree for for the fall season. And they're, I don't know, like cappuccino cups or something. You guys can paint them. I'm just using like vinyl that I have laying around. Just anything that you have laying around. You guys can choose whatever. So I just placed that right on top and then just used the same stickers from Dollar Tree to add the G for gingerbread man, and then using some caulk I am going to go ahead and do my whipped cream at the top. I was going to make one for Santa as well, but I was running short on time, so maybe I'll make it next time. Okay, so gnomes are all the rage, and this is my first year making them, so I'm going ham with them. I found these door hangers at Dollar General as well, so I'm just going to be using that for the body. And again, I'm just going to be using some vinyl that I have to put on top. Again, you can paint it, but whatever paper, whatever you want, however you want to do that. And then I also cut a piece of foam board from Dollar Tree to make into the hat, and I made sure that it was long enough and that it was pointy enough to look like sort of the recreation, I guess, but not really. And then I also found these microfiber towels at Dollar Tree, and they're super nice and fluffy. I did do a stencil of like a beard. It's kind of hard to cut this fabric, so it didn't come out as perfect as my original stencil, but that's okay. You guys get the point. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue that right on there. And then I did take one of these fluffy socks from Dollar Tree as well. I'm not there yet. There I am. Okay, so I actually felt bad using one of these because they're so comfortable, but they're only $1, so it's okay. I can always go buy more. So I'm just going to go ahead and stretch it out all the way on the top of the foam board, and then at the tip, or in the tip, I am going to add a little bit of stuffing just so it makes like a little ball, and then wrap it around with twine and just, you know, fluff it up, scrunch it up however you want. I'm going to be adding a bead for the nose. This ho-ho sign is going to be easy peasy. I am going to be using some of these wooden blocks from Dollar Tree to make both H's, and I'm going to be using 8 pieces for each H. And then I feel like Dollar Tree always has these little signs. I have a bunch of them in my stockpile. So I'm going to use one of those, and then some of this peel and stick wallpaper. Just go ahead and wrap it around. And then I also found these glitter letters at Walmart a while back. I got them on like super clearance. They were like pennies. You can find them at Dollar Tree though. And then they also have, or I'm also using this wired garland to wrap around the O. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right in the hole so it stays still, and then glue it all around. While I did that though, I was waiting for my H's to dry because I did like a coat of spray paint just so I didn't have to wrap the whole thing with my vinyl that you guys can see that I'm using here. So I just cut out the H-shaped vinyl, place it at the top, and I'm going to glue everything together on the little platform. And I actually like how the letter looks with the garland in the back. So whether you guys decided to do it this way or this way, just depends on your preference, but I thought it was super cute. I always leave my favorite towards the end, but now I don't know which one's my favorite. So I went ahead and printed out just one ice skate, just like the graphic. So I cut that out and then I traced it on some chipboard. You guys can use cardboard or foam board or whatever thick piece of material that you have. And I just went ahead and cut it out with my X-Acto knife. These are really sharp, so just, you know, if you do use X-Acto knife, be careful. Again, I'm going to be using some vinyl, and you guys can paint it or add craft paper, whatever. It's up to you guys, to your preference. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to drill some holes on there so I can add some shoelaces that are made out of twine. Okay, so here's that mop pad that I used earlier. So this actually worked for 2 projects, for the light up gnome and then also for my ice skates. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut a piece out. Oh, as you guys can see there, I did add a little loop of twine to the top of the skate as well, because that's what I'm gonna hang it from. But yeah, just cut it to whatever shape or size you want and then glue it right on there, and that's it. So you guys, we have come to the end of the video. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I would love to know which one of these DIYs was your favorite. You know, I'm torn between which one I like the most. I actually really like the ice skates. I thought those were super creative, and especially because they were literally made from scratch. And I actually liked everything I made today, so I hope you guys did too. If you do, I would love for you guys to hit that thumbs up. You guys know how much that helps me out, and you guys have really been loving on my channel lately, so I super appreciate it. Leave me any of your comments or questions down below, and before I go, make sure you guys subscribe. You guys don't want to miss out on any of my videos. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!